take it back to the night before. So
it's really good at making these. And it's creating this really nice smell.
okay, so the reason that we poke the holes in the egg. Hey, I'm Crystal, and today we're gonna be making ramen. So this year is off the rails, but that's not stopping us from upgrading our own lives. So funny enough, one of the things that has gone through so much evolution and improvement is just the way that we've been making ramen. Last year I made a video about the secret to perfect ramen. Since then, that bowl of soup has undergone so many changes. We're at a completely different bowl that I just love so much more, and I really do think it's perfect this time. So watch the video to figure out how to make this new one. So our first step to our upgraded ramen is to take it back to the night before. Do the eggs. The earlier you do the eggs, the better off you are. So right now, we have water boiling in here. After we try to get the water to start to boil, next we want to poke holes in the eggs. Okay, so all the eggs have a little teeny tiny hole in them.
The water isn't boiling yet, but once it's boiling, we're gonna put all the eggs in there.
So now we're going to be setting our timer for 7 minutes and 30 seconds after all the eggs are dropped in. After you've pressed your start timer, you want to stir the eggs around as much as possible, of course, hopefully without breaking any. Okay, so the reason that we poke the holes in the egg and the reason why we stir kind of go hand in hand. So poking the holes in the eggs allows for when the egg is boiling for there to be no air bubbles within the egg under the shell. Sometimes there'll be like a pocket that just kind of fills with air, and so if you poke a hole, all that air is released and the entire egg will expand to the edge of the shell, so we have a perfect oval. And the reason why you stir it is so that the yolk can move to the middle of the egg and you have that perfect shaped egg. In the meantime, we got our bowl of cold water filled with ice packs to make it extra cold, ready for the eggs to come out. Now it's time for the transformation from hot boiling water to cold. Make sure you don't drop any eggs in this process. So now that all the eggs are successfully in the cold water, you want to stir it for 30 seconds. Have a little helper here today. Yay! Lucy's turn to stir.
She's really good at making these.
Ratatouille, but with a puppy.
Papatouille. Yeah? Thank you.
Now to really seal the deal and confirm that they're cold, we want to put the ice packs back on top. Now is the time to remove the ice packs and crack some eggs. This part is always the most tedious and takes the longest. But sometimes it can be pretty therapeutic, so try to enjoy yourself while you're doing this. I kind of like to just drop the naked egg back into the water to clean it off. Yippee! We have all the eggs peeled. Done. Look at them. So bare. We're going to pull out one by one. Make sure there's no like skin or excess shell still on it. It's pretty clean. We're going to drop it in an empty container right here. Compact. Next, we resort to our trusty and tasty soy sauce. Pour it on over all of these guys right here. And once you're done filling the soy sauce up to the top of the container, you can add in a little bit of water too, depending on how much you want it to be diluted or how strong you want it to be. You want to seal it up and then stick it in the fridge. And now we wave goodbye to them and leave them in there overnight. Hello, we are back to present day and we're ready to work on the broth. So right now we're just chopping some green onion and ginger. We're toasting this garlic in some sesame oil. When you start seeing this happening, you know it's going well. First we pour in some sesame oil. We have a little bit of that in there right now. And we put the pot to a medium, and now we want to put this ginger in. And the reason that we put these two in together is because the sesame oil toasts the ginger. Pour those chopped green onions in. And now we're stirring these things around, and it's creating this really nice smell. Next, you want to get a spoonful of chili garlic sauce, and add it on into the mix. Next, mushrooms. These are portobellos, all cut up. Add it into there. And make sure you really stir all these things really good. This is the secret. It makes things look really nice, and it just gives such a good flavor. You want to pour that on top. You see, it just makes it look so professional. Okay, put the lid on. You leave it at medium, and we just wait for a little bit. The next step is you want to use this nice kelp package, and we're going to make our own like stock. So we take a little piece of this here, one strip, throw it in, magnificent. So we just added some olive oil into this mix. Now that we got to roll on a little bit with all the dry stuff, we want to get to the water part of the broth. So the actual brothy part. Pour about a bowl's worth in. So this just allows all the flavors of everything to kind of mix together. Yeah, right away after pouring in the water, you can see how all the flavors just immediately attached to the water. The water instantly turned brown. Oh, and it smells amazing. One of the most important parts about being in the kitchen is doing a little taste test. So we're gonna do that now. So we haven't put in the soy sauce yet, and that's what's lacking right now. Give it a nice little pour. Beautiful. Giving this a chance to work things out right now. Next we wanna pour some nicely chopped tomatoes into the broth. This is gonna add so much flavor. Next we wanna add 1 spoonful of mellow white miso. So the eggs have been sitting in the soy sauce for 15 hours. This is what one of them looks like. We're gonna cut it to see what's going on the inside. Beautiful. Yeah, it has that gelatinous texture that
You really
we need for the ramen. The biggest differences from our old ramen from last year and this new upgraded, updated ramen is the noodles. The importance of the noodles is up there with the egg, and that's very important to me. I discovered these new noodles, which you can get at Whole Foods. They're called Sun noodles. It's all cut up and open. But here, you see it's Sun noodles. This is the miso flavor. When I say that this is the game changer, it makes the whole ramen a completely different experience. This is what the noodles look like. The reason why these noodles are just so amazing to me, my favorite of all the noodles that we've tried, is because it definitely tastes the most like the noodles that are used at my favorite ramen place, Tatsu. This magical quality about them where they're bouncy and they're like a little bit thick and round, and the texture and the flavor is completely different from any noodle I've ever tried. Get Sun noodles at Whole Foods. And they have different flavors too, and I'm sure you can't go wrong. But if you want my recommendation on the flavor, miso. Noodle time. We have the 4. Make sure to boil each pack for 1 minute and 15 seconds. The noodles are all done now, and so we're trying to divide everything up equally among 4 bowls. This is how things are coming along now. All done. So it used to be really hard for me to finish the entire bowl of soup. Like, I would always leave a little bit. With this new one, no matter how much I fill my bowl, it's always done, and it's finished so fast. so delicious, such a favorite. But if you have any tips or ingredients or things that you do differently, cook differently with your bowl of ramen, please let me know. I'm 100% open to any suggestions and so I would love to hear your input. Thank you. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Each pack will be in. Boil each pack for 1 minute and 15 seconds. Sorry, I don't know why.
Okay, now we're gonna drop the. Oh, but I need to set the time.
God, it's cold.